Hello, y'all. So, this is probably going to be I'm hopefully last video. I know it's still kind of early. It's 6:14 a.m. p.m. in the evening. It was just 6:13 when I started. So, so I haven't had any help yet with any way to get dinner to eat. So so now, I mean, I wrote a I wrote a blog post on my blog, and also I wrote a fiction short story. It's a Christian children's short story that's very brief, you know, and so I mean, if you haven't had a great enough sleep or proper food to eat, I mean, well, if I did, then I'm pretty sure my stories probably could come out better or without any distractions or any gang stalking. Like I just had harassment with the ambulance, and a lot of the times the ambulance harassment is boom car noise, like the loud music. Cars and loud music will follow right after the ambulance or the paramedics or whatever fake emergency vehicles. So today I don't think I stepped foot outside at all today. And my hands still smell like chili from last night, but excuse me. But I wash my hands, but that strong chili smell won't get off my hands. So I don't even know what's the point in waiting for Friday if I'm not even sure if I'm gonna get my paycheck or get paid or whatever. So yeah, it's very scary, and I'm feeling the torture right about now of the hunger. And I know people might think I'm stretching if I'm saying, when I'm not really starving right now, but I'm hungry and don't have a way to eat. So I wrote a short story, another one, in hopes that, if I could get donations or tips, if you thought the story was good or if you wanted to support me or help me get food to eat. And all I had was those 3 peanut butter sandwiches earlier, and I'm hungry and feeling weak now. And then I don't know if or how I'm going to get money for food or any food to eat tomorrow. And if people want to say, well, just go get food stamps. Well, the gang stalkers play with my mail, so how could I get the doggone food stamp card or food stamps? And, they wouldn't give me food stamps right away anyway. So, me being a targeted individual, yes, the gang stalkers, they play with my mail and lie and say that I don't have mail. So, that's why I can't get a lot of services. And, one of the things that's hindering me from getting it's one of the things. It's why, like, when I try to, it was it this year? Um, Yikes, I don't remember when it was. When I tried to apply to try to get back on a Section 8 list. And You know, they play with my mail. So how was I gonna get the paperwork to fill out to turn back in? So they deny you services of a lot of different things as a targeted individual. I'm wondering if the online perps, after what happened last month, if they perform witchcraft that powerful and that heavy to the point where I had to be back on the streets again for the first time in 7.5 months. Plus now ending up like borderline on the verge of starving and having not even enough money for food. And they already bully and abuse me and call me fat and greedy while they have the luxury to go in the refrigerator and get what they want, or go to the grocery store and get what they want and eat what they want for the morning, noon, or night, and try to dictate and police and control how many meals a day I should eat. And they work for Satan, you know. So, as I said in one of my previous videos about feeling triggered, thinking back on when the foster mom used to drill it in my head that I'm gonna grow up to be homeless, and homeless, living underneath the bridge, and wondering where my next meal is, and that I'm gonna be, you know, a drug addicted, crazy, schizophrenic prostitute. You know, who tells a child that? But, you know, I know some of you online perps probably defending the foster mom's abuse and probably would be like, yeah, Candy's been trouble, or Candy's been a problem since she was a foster child. You know, I guess trying to justify the foster mom's abuse. And I've had other narcissistic abusers who would act like they get annoyed with me and then yelling. Like one of my high school teachers actually told me, I see why the foster mom abused you the way she did. Just because she got annoyed at me trying to ask her a question. I don't even remember what question I was trying to ask her. You know how narcissistic abusers, they ignore you on purpose for an excuse to get aggravated with you and yell at you? So, I think that was a case like that. And then, or I had some other narcissistic abusers tell me, oh, I don't believe the foster mom abused you the way that you say she did. You know, so, I don't know. It seems like, I mean, as I said, if what did I do to deserve this punishment? You know, punished with being left to suffer. As I said, I've been forced against my will to live in extreme poverty all my life. My entire life on a spectrum or bracket of extreme, not just low income, but extremely low income. If people say that Social Security and SSI is extremely low income, you know, so, excuse me. I don't know if all that peanut butter caused me to have gas. Flatulence, I'm sorry. But, so, the online perps think they have the authority to dictate that, you know, that that I should not be allowed to be a writer or write. And that they think I deserve to not be able to get credit for writing. Or, you know, that I deserve to be punished with not being allowed to be acknowledged as an author. And they want to keep up the narrative that, oh, all she does is complain and beg all the time. When I'm talking about my gang stalking experiences. And then they would taunt and harass me and say, well, your religion isn't working, because if it was working, why isn't your God feeding you? Or something like that, Oh, go ask your God to feed you. So oh, how's that Jesus working out for you? So basically, I really don't know when I'll get my next meal to eat. And the perps, like, they had this fake TI perp told me about a couple of months ago, oh, you don't seem to be missing too many meals. Well, I'm missing meals and probably gonna go to bed hungry tonight. And people in society don't care if you don't get to eat. So yeah, I turn the light back off so I won't have to see the gnats in here. So I think I did say in my other video, one of my previous videos, about how depression is very much settling in right now. I did say that. So I'm very depressed right now. Very depressed. And it's very scary what I gotta go through. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, what did I do that bad that people think I'm such a horrible person, and they think I deserve to be treated like a punished child. Don't help her, don't support her, and all this constant, senseless and unnecessary bullying and abuse, just like the unnecessary abusive comments online with the perps. That was like unnecessary abusive harassment at work. It was unnecessary. I could have still been at work. I could have been at work right now. I could have been at work right now. So please, I'm gonna share my short story. It's a Bible Christian, short story that I wrote, and I'm gonna put it in the link. I'm sorry, I'm gonna put the story in the description box. This is my side hustle and way of attempting to survive. But the perps will say it's no side hustle, it's not work, and your writing is garbage. While at the same time they're illiterate and can't even spell schizophrenia. The very same names that they can't call me. The very same names that they can't spell. The very same names that they try to call me, they can't even properly spell those names that they call me. And they tell me stop calling people names. They hypocritically tell me and self-righteously tell me stop calling people names, while they call me names like greedy, fat, scammer, and all these freaking names. But I heard they get paid to target and traffic and slander you. But as I say, professed Christians treat you like a burden and don't want to hear your cries. Even if it's just for emotional support and a listening ear. They cut you off and say that they don't want to hear any drama or gossip, and that you should go to God only in prayer. But then they act like they think they're God judging and punishing you, They want to take God's authority to punish and judge and issue out judgments and punishments and chastisements and stuff, So, I mean, or they will assume that, oh, the reason why you don't have no money or no food, oh, that's because you haven't been praying, you know. But how you know what I've been doing? So, I mean, there's no hope with for people to pull strings to help me get a reliable car or a reliable vehicle to I mean, working with coworkers, it's not for me, you know. So I need something by myself. But if I were to try to do something like DoorDash or Instacart, they would find covert ways to sabotage that too. So any way to try to prevent you from living and surviving. But just remember, y'all got to have the taste of high income and driving brand new luxury vehicles. I don't know what that's like to have high income. I will die never truly owning a house or a car. 38 years old, don't know what that's like to be a homeowner. And they have people who are just barely 20 years old and get that experience of being a homeowner. That I had to be forced to rent all my life, or low income Section 8 or low income disabled all my doggone life. I never know what's the experience of paying a mortgage or or none of that. I've had landlords that paid rent, everywhere I live, and then seemed like, come to think of it, being homeless probably, come to think of it, off and on about a quarter of my adulthood life, maybe. I don't know, somewhere around there. Maybe not that much, but I can't do the math right now. But a large portion of my adulthood, I had to deal with off and on homelessness and living in shelters or been off and on the streets since 2018 and dealing with this doggone targeting. And they want to make sure I don't they sabotage my attempts to try to get back on my feet. Just like they just sabotaged 2 jobs this past week. They don't want me to survive. And then they want to pretend to be fake rescuers. If I have like a mental health crisis, they want to pretend to be fake rescuers with the problem reaction solution. When you cause the problem, I react a certain way, and then you want to pretend to be the fake rescuer with the fake solution. But the perps have made it plain. They have made death threats at me, jail threats, and threats to get me locked up in a mental institution. And they think that I need to be put away in a mental hospital or prison, punished. For what? What crimes did I commit? Now I'm punished from eating, punished from food. And they make the false smear camp. People who used to be targeted and are now perps are trying to talk about, oh, she be eating deliciously and illegally. Like, I'm not allowed to eat. And everybody's heart is hardened towards me. Everybody has a cold heart towards me. An evil heart towards me. And see, that's the noise harassment outside that blasts the loud music and that fake ass bass right there. And I'm tired of being like condemned. They the online perps, they think that I deserve to be spanked or paddled like a child. And they're just trying to ruin and destroy me. I don't care. This is my YouTube channel. That is my blog, my Twitter, my Ko-fi, my whatever other else account online, not yours. But the perps won't respect my boundaries. I have them blocked and they still treat me like they an owned slave with no rights. Could you imagine your next door neighbor treating you like they think they have high authority over you and like they demand that you be their slave? And you're just a next door neighbor. And there's always this neighbor wherever I live, this narcissistic control freak fake neighbor. And I don't even know if they're considered set up to be a handler if they act like they think they own me and stuff. And think they have, like, treat me like I'm, like as if I belong to them. Yet they hate me. If narcissistic gang stalking neighbors think they got the authority to peruse through my trash, I've had a narcissistic perp neighbor do that to me. And then they're narcissistic enough to treat me like everything I do or say is the dumbest thing they ever heard. You know. So anyway, pretty please, I'm asking, if anybody could donate like 15 or 20, because they don't have any proper place to eat it over here. At the other motel, there was Publix, Panera Bread, and Jersey Mike's, Dairy Queen, all that. Like, and a pizza place, like an Italian restaurant, and a couple of other food places like right across the street. That Asian place, China Wok, it's like a Chinese food stand. It's closed down. So, and then I don't know if I'll get to stay here past Thursday or Friday because I don't know if my check is going to come. And if it does, then I don't know how much it will be. I wonder how they're going to give me my check without the W-4s filled out. Without the W-4 form filled out. How are they going to give me my check? But they won't even contact me now. They don't even care. And they probably feel like, oh, well, that's on you. So this is part of the gang stalking weirdness. They should have given me my W-4 form to fill out. But they swear that they did, and it's not there. So they try to make it like it's a mystery or like a treasure hunt to look for the doggone W-4 form to fill out. So I don't know if I'll get that check on Friday. And then I will end up being in debt to this motel and wondering how would I get the $365 to make up for this past week? Because I didn't foresee that, I'm about to lose my job. I'm sitting here trying to stay past 90 days. And so I'm sitting there trying to stay past 90 days and couldn't even last 2 weeks. And, the agreement was that he will let me just pay next week for this past week and this week right here. But now I don't know what's going on. And the perps would love to see for me to not get paid. And then they laugh at and mock my suffering. I'm telling y'all everything that's going on. So, and as I said, people don't care if I don't get to eat. And people be like, "Oh, well, people don't have no money to donate." Well, y'all got money to donate to whatever fake charities that you want to donate to. You got time to donate to somebody's gender reassignment surgery. But the gang stalkers, they tell society to not help the target. But if you are sincere and don't have the money to help, but would like to, but don't have the money to help, then I very much understand that. But I'm saying this in reference to the ones who could help, but choose not to, and arrogantly and narcissistically got their nose turned up because of the false rumors they've heard about me. But they can lie on me all day. And online fake Christian TI perps have lied on me and said that I slander Christians in the body of Christ, when they have a lot of fraudulent fake hypocristians who are narcissistic abusers pretending. And they use the word of God to abuse. I wish they still had that Battered Sheep website still up. But that website is defunct. But go to a website called wickedshepherds.com or .net or something like that. Or there is a such thing as, some people think just because a person has Christian behind their name, you better not dare speak out against them, because every person who calls themselves a Christian is a good person and God's people and anointed, and that they're untouchable. And religious narcs, fake Christian narcissistic abusers, they exploit and take advantage of that and abuse their so-called fake power. But if you can call me a fake Christian or a wolf in sheep's clothing, then I can call you the same thing. That I slander God's people. No, I speak the truth of abusive people pretending to be God's people. As I said, I talk all the time about these exploitative fake TI perps, narcissistic fake TI perps who who drive around in their Teslas all day talking about how great God is, and they go around perping and abusing and do exactly what the perps do, and they call themselves chosen ones. Or they sit behind a computer or sit behind a desk and do nothing but spread lies all day, and they get paid. And there's a handler coaching them in the background and telling them what to doggone say. They have a script that they read off of to lie on me, with the handler in the background, and then laugh and smirk. So as I said, if you wish that you could help, but you really can't afford to help, thank you anyway. Thank you at least for your heart. But I hate to be in this doggone predicament. But I guess with this job, it probably wouldn't have worked out anyway, because it's like to have to deal with, before my first paycheck, struggling with the way to get back to this motel every day with and not having any money for Uber or cab, or struggling to have any money for food and stuff. And I just started the job and haven't gotten the first paycheck yet. And boom, and I don't know, I probably am going to get 2 paychecks. Probably, I don't know. But I don't even, because they started a new pay period. I worked Saturday, I worked 10 hours. And then Sunday, I worked probably an hour and a half or 2 hours. But I try to stick it out. But, I already told y'all what happened. So please, thanks for listening to me. ramble on all day. As I said, I'm gonna try to not do any more videos unless some gang stalking activity comes up. Then I'm gonna have to do something tonight. So I don't even know if I'll get to be here past Friday or if I'll have to be forced to be punished with being back on the streets again. And I don't have a sleep spot anymore on the streets.